What do we have for Virgo? Six of Swords, Aquarius energy at the foundation of the reading, Virgo. Virgo, right now you're on this path. You've overcome quite a lot in such a short period of time. For some of you, I'm hearing 6 months, a year, even 2 years for a large group of you. But what I'm getting here is you on this new path now. It's very much the energy of a rite of passage. Some of you could literally be relocating, traveling, but there is some sort of energy here where you're beginning to move forward. And I feel the divine is wanting you to pump the brakes a little bit on just how much you start taking on. It's as if they want you to take each step in this new beginning in a very methodical fashion, as not to repeat any patterns of the past. Some of you may have just gotten out of a relationship and you may feel the need to jump back into something before taking the necessary time out to heal, as to make sure you don't jump back in to something that mirrors what you've already left. See, now you need to be very cautious, Virgo, because it's during these times when the devil will try and use another tactic to get to you. Let's say, for example, you get presented with some kind of offer, and this offer seemingly is replacing something in the past that you've moved on from. So it could be replacing a void in your life. It could be a business opportunity. For a lot of you, it's going to be in the relationship sector. But if enough time isn't taken toward your healing, a very similar energy can repeat itself, but it may just look a little different on the surface. Same spirit, different human kind of energy here. I'm picking up an energy from you, Virgo, where you're trying to do too much right now. I feel that you need to enjoy this sense of freedom that you have, Virgo. Don't be so quick to give that up, because I do get something from you where you're trying to figure it all out at once, which could wind you right back in a space that looks a lot like your past. And keep in mind, we're also in a Mercury retrograde, as well as making our way through this post-eclipse energy. Now's a really great time to put ideas together, maybe make a pseudo plan on how you would like things to look moving forward, but don't take any action right now, Virgo. And what's so challenging about a Mercury retrograde as well, especially post-eclipse, is we're going to feel like we want to take action in certain areas. We're going to feel very challenged. But there's something here that wants to jump on for the ride, Virgo. There's an energy here that feels you moving on with your life, getting away, however this may show up for you. And it's as if this energy wants to get you back in that space that you've managed to break free from. And when I speak about a particular energy, like I am right now, it's more spiritual, is what I'm picking up. It doesn't feel like it's so much a person or people. I mean, it certainly could be, but it just feels like a force. What do we have at the sacral, please? Seven of Pentacles, Taurus energy at the sacral. Unbelievable. I was just talking about how it's more an energy, right? Like a spirit. And here you are. And there's this energy watching over you. It's like you have this vision. There's this energy of perseverance that surrounds you. 6 to the 7. But then there's something here. You know, this energy, this spirit, this could be a behavioral pattern. In fact, I feel that that's exactly what it is for a lot of you. You're just so used to things being a particular way that when things start going really good in your life and you're finally free, it's almost as if you feel like there's a void in a certain area, like you need to fill that space again. This is actually going quite deep, Virgo. It's like there's so much peace and silence that you're just not used to it. It's usually during these moments that you start to realize that there's some healing that you need to do within as well. I know this feeling, Virgo. I've definitely been here before. It's like being used to a certain kind of chaos in your life. Not to say at all that that's what you want, but there's just a kind of pattern that things have always unfolded in your life. And now once the shift has began to unfold, it feels slightly foreign to you. But Virgo, all I can tell you is if you do feel this way, like I'm trying to explain to you here, this is a very positive indication that there's changes actually unfolding for you, energetically speaking. And again, the best way to navigate this territory, Virgo, is just to take a deep breath and try and relax through this space here. There's no need for you to take any major action or make any big decisions in your life right now. It's interesting because the Aries energy was now's the time to get to work, where it's actually quite opposite for you, Virgo. But I am picking up an energy here surrounding what I said earlier on in the reading about now's the time to make plans. So the Aries collective is getting to work, and the Virgo collective is in a time of putting plans together, which makes perfect sense. Aries is on the front lines, the first sign of the zodiac. They're essentially kicking the door open. And you being the sixth house, Virgo is a energy of organization. It's as if everybody's being called back to their specific duties right now. So I'm actually picking up an energy here that is speaking about you being in a position right now in your life, Virgo, where you're actually serving the greater good. It's not even just about you and your life. The divine just needs you in that space because of the energetic influence it has over the rest of the collective. Let's keep going here. What do we have at the solar plexus? 9 of Pentacles. Wow. What a card to follow what I just said. This is your card, Virgo. And this is you at your best. This is you right where you need to be. Goes along exactly with what I just said. It's like you're being called, energetically speaking, back to base. Here you are in your everyday waking life. Well, I have to do this, this, and that. I want to go this way. I want to go that way. And the divine's saying, no. Let's just go ahead and pump the brakes, Virgo. We need you to come back to base. We need you to start constructing plans. Now, though these plans involve you and how you move in your life, it's always going to connect, collectively speaking, as well. The 9 of Pentacles can also speak about some sort of investment next to this 7 of Pentacles. It's as if you're putting a plan together to figure out where you're going to be investing your time, your energy, quite possibly your money for some of you as well. Virgo, in my mind's eye right now, I'm seeing a collective of Aries that are on the front lines, clearing the path for us, so to speak, right? It's like they're making a path through a dense forest region, and the rest of the zodiac are having to sit back and wait till Aries has completed the task. And while we're all sitting back, we're functioning inside of our energetic purpose. So again, for you, plans, organization. It's as if we're all coming together like a military unit, and we all have our positions that we need to report back to right now. 6, 7, 9. 6, 7, 9 is all related to the shadow self. Right now, Virgo, is a time to heal the deepest corners of yourself. There are parts of you that are feeling triggered at the moment. And I feel for a lot of you, it's you feeling triggered to take action in certain areas, like I was saying. But this actually reflects these unhealed wounds. You're really being asked right now to address these deep hurts that have been left unattended for too long. Now's the time to pray for guidance, Virgo, and give yourself the time and space to heal before you start making any major decisions in your life right now. Again, there's nothing wrong with putting together ideas and plans for the future, because chances are you're going to change all of this stuff. Interestingly enough, Virgo, now's the time for organization. But I feel that it's a different kind of organization. It's not you organizing your environment or anything like this. It's more organizing yourself from within. This is an energy of calibration that I'm picking up for you, Virgo. You've come so far, and the divine is really watching over you. What do we have at the heart, please? 8 of Swords, Gemini energy at the heart. Virgo, I just heard it's like being inside a prison cell. mentally, emotionally. And rather than addressing what needs to be addressed to remove yourself from that space, you'd rather just bring somebody in there so you don't have to be alone there. This is an example of what I'm picking up for you here, Virgo. It's time to release this now. You've been through so much and you're carrying this with you, but it's as if you're just kind of putting a Band-Aid on it. You're not really getting to the core of it. It's like you're on the threshold of freedom and liberation and more self-imposed restriction. That's why the divine is telling you to, well, it's like an energy of sitting this one out, right? Just go and focus on yourself, Virgo. You've been through enough. We need you at your best. So report back to base. You know what it gives me? It gives me, it's like a detective who goes undercover and experiences something very traumatic, and the chief of police says to him, we need you to take some time off, okay? And the detective is like, no, I want to stay. I'm fine. The chief of police is like, no, we insist, right? It's this kind of energy is what I'm getting from you, Virgo. It gives the energy of somebody who needs a serious vacation. It's not to say at all, Virgo, that there's anything wrong with you. It's just an energy of it being more well-deserved after everything you've been through. What do we have at the throat, please? Two of Wands. Wow. Aries energy at the throat. This reiterates what I just said. Two of Wands is all about putting plans together for the future, right? And it's like here you are, you're looking at this world, which is in the palm of your hand, but it gives this energy of perspective. It's like you're taking a break, you're zooming out, checking back in. But also, I speak about this all the time, about taking a break and a timeout to gain perspective over your life, look at your life through the eyes of the universe so you can just remember where you are and think about where you need to get to. You see, we're all so consumed by the everyday grind of life that we just can easily lose sight of where we're going to begin with, or what's important, or what we've been through. Now's the time to really check in with yourself, Virgo, and make sure that you've learned these lessons from these cycles you've closed out. It's very easy to say you have, but it's even easier to wind up in that space where you're having some sort of repeat of a karmic cycle, and then you start to realize that all the progress you made just led you right back to that space that you worked so hard to break free from. And in the background of this Two of Wands, there's this trickster energy there, right? And he looks like he's sitting this one out, like, I can't fool Virgo anymore. And again, it doesn't have to be a person. It can be a behavioral pattern. It can be a spirit, right? An energy. It certainly can be a person. It can be different for each and every one of you out there. Okay? But you need to understand, Virgo, that when you finally break a pattern in your life, it doesn't stop that energy of that pattern from trying to repeat itself in your life. It just works out craftier ways to try and get to you. I'm somebody who had this spirit going through my relationships with women for years and years and years, and I wasn't awakened enough to recognize it. It took quite a while before I could see that there was this kind of repeating pattern in every single relationship I was in. And what I started to realize is that although I was the common denominator in all these relationships, there was something much deeper and darker that was unfolding there that was beyond my comprehension. It was a spirit that was just showing up in all of these different relationships. My relationships would unfold exactly the same way as the one before, and before that, and before that. They were all the same. After a couple of decades of that, I just started to feel like there was something truly wrong with me. Why do I keep attracting the same kind of energy into my life? This is what was part of triggering a major spiritual awakening in my life, that this is something I needed to address if I wanted to have any sort of success in this sector of my life. So I decided to take a break from being in any sort of romantic relationships. Started to go through a spiritual awakening, which led me to want to understand why I attracted certain energies into my life, which led me directly into my childhood and wanting to heal all these shadow aspects of myself and start connecting with that inner child as well. That's usually where all the healing needs to take place. What I found blew my mind. All this energy that I was attracting into my life was a direct mirror of unchecked trauma, stuff that was just buried so deep. And as the years go by and as the relationships came and went, the trauma just embedded itself deeper and deeper. And what I found was when I began the healing process of this, started to really question the person that I was up until that point. Started to feel very detached to that past version of myself. Started to realize that I was living a kind of lie and I didn't even know it, because the trauma that I had been subjected to throughout my life reprogrammed me and set me out on a path that was not for my highest good. Now, we all go through what I'm explaining to you here in some capacity. It's going to be different for each and every one of you. Simply put, Virgo, there is something here that you are being urged to start healing from now. The cycles are over. You don't need to repeat these patterns anymore in your life. The case is closed, right? You've gathered all the wisdom that you need to. Now it's time to heal and prepare yourself for the rest of your life and start to put together an idea of what you want that to look like. And don't rush. Take your time with this, Virgo, because what you'll find is when you take your time, you'll get there far sooner than you would if you rushed all of this. Because by the time you get there, the version of yourself that didn't take the time to do it correctly will be living inside a reality where everything is falling apart again. Everything is looking a whole lot like the past. What do we have at the third eye, please? Oh, I didn't even see that. Wow. 10 of Wands, Sag energy at the third eye. 5 of Cups, Scorpio energy at the crown. And as you can see in this depiction of the 10 of Wands, they're actually not on your shoulder like they are in other depictions. And you have this person here. It's almost like, to me, this represents the divine helping you transmute all of these burdens, ridding you of this baggage that you've been carrying with you, which, again, I feel is just that trauma, the shadow energy, whatever it is for you. It's as if you're being called here to finally put down the burdens. Right? It's like, yeah, your mission here is done. You can go ahead and put those down now. Just come back to base, right? It's time for a vacation. You're like, no, but I have things I need to do here. They're like, no. You're done, Virgo. You're having a hard time, maybe even without realizing this, getting used to the fact that the worst has passed. You know what this is? It's like an energy of waiting for the shoe to drop. But there's this energy here where it's time to move on, Virgo. It's a time for recovery. Very deep, interesting reading here, Virgo, but it makes perfect sense with the astrology. What do we have at the foundation, please? 6 of Cups, Scorpio energy, Fornius. Yeah, this is an energy of living in the past. It's like you're at the threshold of the new beginning in the past, similar to what I said earlier on in the reading. And for some reason, you feel something pulling on you that looks like the new beginning, but what it is the past trying to avail itself as to pull you back into a cycle you've already graduated from. That's why the divine is urging you. I just heard ordering you to recalibrate. Some of you are just so used to things not going your way that it's hard for you to even imagine that this new beginning awaits you. You haven't given up on it. You've always held on to that hope, but it's actually here now. And rather than jumping in and working inside of that space immediately, it's an energy of, let's go ahead and upgrade your software right now, Virgo. What do we have at the sacral, please? Wow. Knight of Wands, bathe in Aries, Leo, Sag energy right underneath that 7 of Pentacles with that spirit, right? And here's that energy. It's like, I could easily say, okay, you have somebody that wants to come back from the past, Virgo, but it's so much deeper than that. And some of you very well could have that taking place here. Okay, it is Mercury retrograde, so it wouldn't surprise me. But again, it's just an energy, it's a pattern that can't bear to see you break it. But this is what you're about to actually accomplish. It's like having a paradigm shift on the way you perceive reality. And the behavioral pattern, whatever it is no longer an option on this new timeline. You almost look at it. Well, it's like you look at yourself, this past version of yourself is like, wow, I didn't even see that before. What was I thinking? That kind of energy. There's major evolution taking place here, Virgo. There's a lot of realization as well surrounding your growth and just how far you've come. It's like you're reaching a point where you can actually stop and think about this past version of yourself or these past versions of yourself and recognize just how far you've come and just how much you've grown. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. It happens when it's supposed to. And this is what I'm getting here. This whole reading is a recognition of growth and the divine telling you to release the grip that you're holding on the past. But in saying that, again, it feels like past behavioral patterns, ways of doing things, something like this could be you having this pattern that's been repeating in your romantic relationships. And then you've finally broken free from something, and the divine has this new beginning prepared for you, and you're marching forward, la-di-da, and you're presented with a kind of offer, or you start getting ideas on how you want to move, not realizing that that's a direct mirror of this past cycle. Virgo, what this is like, just for the sake of example, it's like somebody who's a really bad alcoholic and their life just completely fell apart, and they're sober for a few years, right? Their life is looking great. Everything is better than it's ever been. And they say to themselves, I could probably just have a glass of wine, it'll be fine. So they go and have that glass of wine, and then 6 months down the line, their life is looking a whole hell of a lot like it did in the past, but so much worse. And it's almost like that time, that 6 months from the point of them taking that first sip of wine to where they end up is just like a flash in the pan. And I know that one, Virgo. I haven't drank in, I think it's about 5.5 years now. And every now and then I say to myself, oh, surely I can have one drink. And then I catch myself because no, I can't. For me, that's how the devil accesses me. I know that if I went down that path, that I would lose everything I've worked so hard for. And this is similar to what I'm getting here in regards to whatever you may be going through, Virgo. Don't forget what you've been through and make sure that you're checking in with yourself. Don't allow yourself to bury this. Address it. Because when you address it and you start the healing process surrounding whatever this may be here for your Virgo, this is when you start attracting everything that's in alignment with that healed version of this particular sector of your life. So say it is in your relationship sector, you start healing this, all of a sudden you'll start attracting people that are in alignment with that healed version of yourself, not that traumatized version of yourself, right? When we are functioning from a place of deeply embedded trauma, we're attracting people that mirror that trauma into our life. Like the example I gave surrounding myself. I just kept attracting the same people because they were mirrors of unhealed trauma that I held inside myself, like a moth to a flame, whether it be good or whether it be bad. What do we have, the solar plexus, please? Okay, that's too many cards. Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups. I only need one. But that definitely speaks about the energy. Knight of Cups. Is an energy that's indulging in daydreams, and that Queen of Cups is an energy that's codependent on a specific kind of pattern in their life. When I get that Queen of Cups from this particular deck, it almost looks like a drunk peacock, right? So I feel like that speaks about the energy of making sure not to forget where you came from. And then Nine of Swords, Gemini energy at the solar plexus. Yeah, I'm getting this energy of resting and recovery again here, Virgo. And you know, Nine of Swords is one of the cards of rehab, okay? And I feel like that just speaks about you rehabilitating yourself from whatever you've been through here. I just heard, Detective, it's time for a paid vacation, right? This kind of energy, Virgo. Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Swords. See, the cycle may be over, but it's not complete yet. This is the final step. This is when you truly overcome the devil in your life, which the devil just represents the resistance that we're picking up here, right? It's the energy that wants to pull you back into that space that you've moved on from. And in situations like this ninth step can look very similar to the 10th step, all right? But there's still one more step to go, and it has to do with recovery, the rehabilitation of you, whatever that means to you, Virgo. What do we have at the heart, please? Oh, wow. Very, very powerful. Jeez. Focus, that's the Hermit, in its negative polarity. That's your energy, Virgo. But this is you going the opposite direction of your path. Getting pulled back in, hoodwinked, bamboozled. I just heard you won't even see it coming. Virgo, it's like getting to step 9, thinking that you're at step 10, and ending back at step 1. It's like taking one step forward in the wrong direction and having to take 10 steps back. Unbelievable. The Hermit in its negative polarity is an energy of repeating past mistakes, Virgo. I mean, it's all over this energy here. You are so close to this breakthrough here, okay? And though this message may sound, well, to me it's a very positive message because it's showing us just how truly close you are. And though everything looks like you're in the clear, the way you move with yourself right now is what determines the final step that you take. Some of you have repeated this cycle so many times that this time, Virgo, you can't repeat this anymore. It's not to say that you can't always break out of this space again, but it becomes harder and harder because, let's face it, who wants to keep starting back at step 1? And again, trust me, this is something that I know all too well. Ever since I personally went through this particular awakening process, which is similar to what I'm picking up here, there's just simply nothing that can tempt me anymore to go back. A lot of the things that are used to tempt me now are things that I would have folded to in a second in the past. And then we have the King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag energy, Daniel, eloquence. Here you are, Virgo. You made it. It's like this Hermit and this King of Wands here is representing this threshold, right? That Hermit and its negative polarity is you going backwards, and that King of Wands is you going forward. Virgo, I'm hearing that this is a time that you take out for yourself to raise standards in all these different areas of your life where this particular energy that I'm picking up may resonate for you. It's time to set the bar higher, okay? It's time to raise your value is really the simplest way I can put this, Virgo, and sticking to it. What do we have at the throat, please? The Chariot, Michael, Cancer energy at the throat, who is like God, perseverance, success in conflict, overcoming adversity. So now the energy's starting to move now. The energy's been very kind of slow and grinding, right? But what I feel it is resistance. It's like you wanting to go one way and the divine pulling you like, no, Virgo, come on, this way. And you're like, no, but I have to go this way. But now you make it over the threshold. And see how it's right underneath this Two of Wands? There's that Trickster in the background. So here you are, overcoming this beast, right? Which is just representative of that Trickster energy, whatever that is, behavioral pattern person. thing, a group of people, whatever. The divine needs to make sure that you're good, Virgo, that you're not going to be derailed. It's like this timeout for healing and organization is a kind of insurance policy. What do we have at the third eye? Chariot's also an energy of self-control as well and willpower. So that I feel is going to speak to some of you out there that may be dealing with behavioral patterns that this is relevant to here. What do we have at the third eye? Wow. The Hermit, but in its positive polarity. Unbelievable. Negative polarity, positive polarity, and that is your energy, Virgo. You are the Hermit. Ibamia. Word of God creating all. Alchemy and transformation, rules natural events, helps with spiritual progress. Like I said, it's spiritual, right? It's an energy. Unchecked trauma, shadow work. Take it as it fits for you, Virgo. Now's the time to be connecting with Source. Now's the time to be seeking understanding about all the things you've overcome and what may have caused that pattern in your life to begin with. You don't have to figure everything out, Virgo. Just get on the path, okay? I always speak about how healing is a lifelong process. We never get to a point where we're completely healed, okay? Because life in and of itself is perpetual damage, right? I mean, think about it. But your awareness that this is an area that you need to put focus on is what gets the wheel turning, so to speak. It really is the energy of you going on a quest for your personal truth. You've been so distracted with the everyday grind of life that now's the time to have this sit down with Source, with your higher self. Start mapping out what life is going to start looking like once you cross that threshold, okay? Visual manifestation, Virgo. I'm picking that up here strongly for you, especially at this third eye position, which is all related to your imagination, your intuition, your visions, you seeing beyond the here and now, you seeing beyond the veil. What do we have at the crown? Close that for Virgo, please. Oh, the way that card flipped over in my deck was perfect. Three of Wands. Unbelievable. Aries energy at the crown to close out the reading. Satael, the god of hope. Construction of the universe, right? Help with great works, protection from adversaries, right? This is you constructing what life is going to look like once you cross over the threshold. Visual manifestation. Like I just said, this is one of the cards of the visionary. This is you preparing for the future. This is you raising the bar, Virgo. This is what this whole reading's about. I just heard, what do you want, Virgo? What do you want your future to look like? Because it can be yours. We just need to give you a different roadmap than you're used to in order to get there in one piece. Virgo, I feel that this is a blueprint that all of you can apply to your life right now to help see your way into this new timeline, which is all influenced by this post-eclipse energy. I feel that over the next few weeks, while we're in this Mercury retrograde, now is the time to put this energy into action and then start moving forward, because I feel that you'll be free and clear to do so. Virgo, this is the message I have available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donations, Virgo. Take care.